The second phase of 2.3 is almost here, and Jade, the newest 5-star Quantum Erudition unit, will finally be releasing. After a long wait, Blade finally has a new teammate. So let's talk about her best Lightcones, Relics, Teamcomps, and Eidolons. So Jade's best in slot Lightcone is of course her signature by a good amount, but Himiko's signature and Genius's Repose at S5 perform about equally to each other and above everything else I'm gonna mention next. They're her second best in slot. If you don't have either of those Lightcones, then we will be getting a new Herta Shop Erudition Lightcone, Eternal Calculus. You can get this and its superimpositions completely free. It's a pretty good option. Otherwise, some last resorts can be Seriousness of Breakfast or Cosmos, both of which you can buy at the MOC shop. Moving on to Relic Sets, she has quite a few options. Firstly, the Quantum set is her best in slot option. Even though Grand Duke performs about equally, the Quantum set gets even better with Defense Shred. So if you're using Pela, Silver Wolf, or Black Swan with her, the set performs even better, especially if you have her E4. It's just more universal. Oh, and also 2-piece combinations of the two are okay, and the new set is pretty mid. She does follow-ups, not ults. For Jade's planar ornaments, she either wants Duran or Salsado, both are equal, just use whatever has better substats. But if you need to farm one, then farm Duran. It's paired with Firefly set, while Salsado is with the defense set. Also, Sigonia is only her best in slot in Pure Fiction, or any content where Jade is killing many enemies. So if you want to farm a completely different set just for Pure Fiction, then Sigonia is her best. Now, main stats. Jade wants crit rate on the body, only because her talent can give her a maximum of 150% crit damage. It's insane. Then attack percent on the boots. Jade doesn't rely on speed, quantum damage on the orb, and attack percent on the rope. For her substats in order of value, crit rate is the most important, then crit damage, and lastly attack. They're really the only stats she wants, but to fill the 4th substat slot, speed is okay. Now Jade's team comps. If you want to hyper carry her, then she pairs best with Bronya, Robin, and Adventurin. Sustain replacements for Adventurin can be Fushuan, Huohuo, or anyone else really. Other supports for Jade can be Pela, Ruan Mei, Tingyun, or Sparkle. There's many options, but a better playstyle, more suited for her kit, is sub DPS. So of course everyone is talking about Blade. This comp is great. Blade, Bronya, Jade, Huohuo. Blade fully utilizes every aspect of Jade's kit. Other options can be Himiko, Herta, Argenti, or even Jingyuan. Any character that can attack as many enemies as possible is good to stack her talent's massive crit damage buff. Even Clara is good, so is Dr. Ratio. Jade can fit in many different comps. Oh, also, she's great for you Ching Shui mains out there. This comp is pretty good. And finally, onto Eidolons. So Jade's E1 allows her talent's follow-up attack damage to increase by 32%. Also, after the Debt Collector character hits 2 or 1 enemies, Jade generates 1 or 2 points of charge, respectively. So this Eidolon increases her damage slightly, but the real value comes from her team comp flexibility. This change in building stacks allows many more characters to be played with her. E2, a pretty decent damage increase. When she has 15 stacks of Pond Asset, she gains 18 crit rate. Pond Asset is her talent crit damage buff, and gaining 15 stacks at E2 is pretty easy. It's essentially a permanent 18 crit rate. E4, when Jade ults, she ignores 12% of enemy defense for 3 turns. A useful Eidolon, not a major damage increase, but it does scale really well, with the Quantum set stacking even more defense shred. And E6, when there is a Debt Collector on field, so when Jade skills, her Quantum resistance penetration increases by 20%, and she too gains the Debt Collector state, which allows her to build an insane amount of Pond Asset stacks. Of course, E6 is by far her biggest DPS increase. So personally, I'm pulling for Jade, purely for my Blade, one of my favorite characters, and he finally has another support option. Make fun of his damage all you want, he's still one of the coolest characters in the game.